If you're a trader or an investor or just somebody trying to do analysis in market, something that can be really helpful is the ability to understand trends, understand volatility, understand stability, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. So in this video, we'll take a look at some Python code and understand how can you use simple heat maps, and heat maps are visualization tools, and look at how can you calculate and generate a heat map in Python. What can you use the heat map for? There are a variety of things. I've added that in the notebook itself in case you are interested in just refreshing. But in general, you can look at patterns and trend. You can understand seasonality. You can understand yearly trends. You can see simply by looking at the color that how much stability does the stock has, how much volatility it has. You can also compare different stocks, right? If let's say there are historical performances and you want to just compare them, how they have fared over similar time period, like just keep two charts side by side, you will be able to do that. Can help you look at sectors as well, right? If you have certain stocks within a certain sector and you are analyzing that or comparing it to others, it can give you a general indication of how the sectors are performing if you do this exercise for a bunch of stocks. So it can be a really powerful tool. Heat maps are very, very simple to generate. You don't need a lot of number crunching for that. Let's dive in. Two more simple points. It can also help you identify anomalies, can tell you the sharp deviations very quickly, which we'll see in one stock that we are using. Moving further, a big disclaimer. This is not an investment advice. The stock used in this is just for seasonality demonstration purposes. I've looked at it in the past. There can be, any other example as well. Finally, if you want access to the code, please do join in the member channel. If you want early videos, please join in the member channel. I'm planning to do weekly webinars where we'll go deep dive into different concepts. So all of that is for member specific community because not everything can be talked for free. All right. With that, subscribe and let's dive in. So the first thing that we are doing is actually zooming into the code. Let's look at it. So the first few standard libraries, Yahoo Finance, Pandas, NumPy, Seaborn, QuantLab. And then I have a simple function which is getting you the monthly returns. Now the monthly returns is basically based on a start date, end date, and the symbol that we could be using. So I'm just using Yahoo Finance to generate the down data, calculate the monthly returns, and do a little bit of pivoting. So pivoting is transformation, and pivoting is done to make sure that the data is looked at month wise, right? So you have the data after it, like monthly returns pivoted. And the return calculation process is very simple, based off the adjusted close price resampled to monthly, and you're looking at the percentage change. You can actually get data in a monthly format, or you can do a little variety of calculations in here. You can even do a little bit of lag and then add that. Whatever way you want to get into calculating returns are possible. This is just a very simple way, and I think should work out. Then you just plot the heat map. Heat maps are very, very simple. I'm using a library called SNS, which is Seaborn. I'll quickly show you what this library looks like. So this is Seaborn. This is very similar to QuantLab, but the charts are visually better, and you have a lot of ready to use charts out of the box. For example, heat map. Yes. So this is the seaborn.heatmap function, and you get something like this. You can change the colors, and we'll talk about how can you play with the color. You have a lot of color code options which you can keep changing if you want. But for this video purposes, I've used something like this. All right, we'll go to the code. So this is Seaborn. It's very, very interesting, slightly easier to use as well. So that's why I'm using it. And that's what it is. So you just call sns.heatmap, put your data frame there, do some annotations, call a color map. And here I'm using red, yellow, green, simple color map, centering 0. Set some titles, very similar. It works with the same standard for matplotlib. And then I've defined the stock symbol, date range. I'm using Symphony here, which is a appliance manufacturer. If you're from India, you might know they manufacture air coolers, and it's something that sells very high in summers. I mean, naturally, you would need air conditioning and cooling in summers, and not so much in winters. So that's essentially the seasonality that you might see in this, and the returns will tell you that. So you're then calculating the monthly return, getting the monthly return, because this was essentially a function. So you need to call the function, all right? Then you plot the heat map. When you do this, you will be able to see a whole spectrum. So, 0 is here, somewhere neutral, no return. And then you are going upwards, which is positive, negative, all of that. So if you see the darker color periods, right? If you see this period, which is somewhere around March, April. So 2020 was an odd year for this COVID, but usually you should see spikes around March, April. It was April 2021, 2022. Similarly, these 2-3 months are giving you a good peak. 2020 was a little off year in terms of seasonality, but you can see that. And then you can see that the later part of the months are very dry months, and the year is dry as well. Something which you might have noticed that I'm getting some warnings here. So in case you are getting something similar in Python, you can just suppress them. How to suppress them? Import warnings dot filter warnings and say ignore, like it'll ignore the warnings. All right. So yeah, this is the heat map. Now let's validate this with TradingView as well. All right. I just want to give a sense that the seasonality can be visually seen as well. So I'm going to open TradingView. Symphony Limited, NSC. Close all of these stupid things. Just go to looking at, simple chart. All right, so let's go 5 years. And if you see this, right, all of these peaks, these peaks are somewhere in this time period. February, March, again similar. This year it was a little off. So yeah, this is the peak that I was trying to say. So there is seasonality in this, which you can very easily check by representation, and this could give you a, the idea that this is working. So this is just an example. You can probably change it to anything else, like just change the name. So this is ICICI. I'm getting some error with ICICI. Okay, maybe I'll just change it. Yeah, so this is for SBIN, which is a bank. Now, right off the bat, very, very difficult to understand, but you can see March isn't a great month. Like overall, it's not a great month. It doesn't peak well. There is some seasonality towards the end of the year, but very, very hard to get into it. Probably it needs a more deeper dive into it, like looking at each periods and understanding. But yeah, that's essentially what this tells you. If you run this across for multiple, let's say, stocks within the same category or sector, you can do some sort of a sector representation as well. All right. So that's what this video was about. Hope you have liked it. If you want to have more deeper conversations, please join the WhatsApp community. Absolutely free. No questions asked. It's a community of 250 plus people, traders, technical people, people who have been trading, people who have been building algo trading, who have been doing strategies. So WhatsApp channel join kar lo. It's completely free. The intent is just to build a community so that more people are there who can help each other, and democratization of knowledge. Nothing personal or economic there. The membership tab, if you wish, if you see value in it, if you think that you getting access to this code will help you do better analysis, please do join the membership tab. All the code that I've previously shared will be available to you. I'm working through an automation process so that you get the latest code always. And then there's a bunch of other perks as well. All right. Till next video. Bye-bye.